Hello, everybody. I am so fortunate to be able to do the class in Victor about Accuquilt. Now, here in East Aurora and Williamsville, they call me the Accuquilt Queen because I just have a good time with my Accuquilt, and I'm trying very hard to teach everybody about, like, the cubes. When you get the Accuquilt system, you get a cube with it. And the 8-inch cube is often the best one to start with. So one of the things I'm going to be doing is at length showing you what these cubes can do, along with some other things. And I'd like to just show you some samples of what I'm going to be sharing with you at the class in Victor. One of the things I am going to be talking to you about are grids. And you will discover that if you use a 4 by 4 grid, which I'll explain in the class, you can make blocks that are exactly the same size as the cube. So this is an 8.5-inch block. I made it with the 8-inch cube. But what I also want to teach everybody is the 8-inch cube can also make a 12.5-inch block. So you do not have to be limited to the size of the cube as far as the size of the squares. I am going to be talking to you about the strip dies so that you can make strips, you can cut them, you can sew them together, and they're accurate, which is wonderful. And there are some tips and tricks that I will share that I think you might enjoy. I am going to talk a little bit about some of the dies that are out there. There are dies, for example, where you can learn to sew on a curve. And there are little like darts that you can match up, and it helps you with your curve. There's a block like this called the flowering snowball that makes a wonderful wedding quilt, believe it or not. And then I'm going to show you that Accuquilt also has embroidery that you can do and make like a Christmas tree into something that's really fun, or some very boring pumpkins into something that looks very interesting. One of the things I am going to show you are some tips and tricks that you can apply to some of the dies. These are 4 of the dies that come out of the 8-inch cube. They all have a label on them. And usually when I put the die through the cutter, I turn the label so it's toward my belly, okay? That's just one thing. But you're going to notice on these dies that I have taken my permanent marker and I have written on my dies so that I'm communicating with myself all the time about how I'm putting my fabric in and where it's going to lie. When you put your die through the cutter, one of the things I want you to know, especially about this, well, about all the cutters, is that there are no blades in the cutter. I can put my hand in here and not cut myself. I can start it. It actually started running. The blades are in the shapes that you see on the die. If you push down here a little bit, you'll feel that there's something hard there. Is it going to slice your finger? No, it's not going to slice your finger. And I'm going to teach you how you can weave your fabric on your die just like this, and then we can send it through. I need a mat to put on the top, and then I'm just going to give it a little tiny nudge. That's all I have to do, and it goes right through and cuts my fabric now. But what I've gotten is my triangles that I want, and they're all exactly the same size. And that's one of the benefits of your Accuquilt cutter. This is all just to whet your appetite. I hope you'll come to the class because it's absolutely phenomenal what you can do with Accuquilt. I've been doing this for, oh gosh, quite a number of years now. I've made full quilts, whole quilts. I teach block of the month, and we use our Accuquilt cutter for everything. So please come to the class. I would like to see you there.